your feedback, and some of you have shared the feedback probably while registering or through LinkedIn. And this is what I saw with respect to, you know, adapting new technologies is what should companies focus on, whether they should focus on creating alternative business models, or they look into really the safety and hygiene of their patrons, employees, or just focus on cutting the cost right now. How do we reduce the cost? So what should be the focus? I got some insight here. As you can see, in the limited votes, people were looking to create new business models. Then I thought, why not we do a quick round? Some of you might have participated and some may not. Just go and express your feedback right away. You can just log into this olef.com, JSJN511, and just express your feel about this particular question. What do you think, if you are in the seat of decision maker? What is that you would focus on out of these four? These are the same option, a little more texty here, but is the same option. If one of you can just acknowledge it's working, it will be great. Towards the end of the webinar, we will look at the results. I will not hold the webinar for this, but hope all of you can express your voice on this particular platform. You can take a screenshot or whatever. I mean, you can just try out on your mobile. Hope all of you can express, and we will see the results towards the end. All right, shall I move on? If anybody want to take me pause, I will take, otherwise I'll move on. It's all fine?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So agenda, quick introduction about me. Some of you probably do not know the background. So I essentially come from 15 years of experience in the field of energy, healthcare, transportation, and last couple of years specifically around Industrial 4.0. And here at ThermelgyAI, we are focused on creating solution, democratize really the power of IoT and AI to solve some of the real problems which we see. And the agenda for today is really to get your perspective, which we just begin. Then I'll walk you through some of the research which we have done as an organization to this field. This research is very specific. You would see for hotel industry some of the numbers. However, it is quite applicable to any other field you may be belonging to, be it hospitals or a retail sector or any office space. And if you are in charge of either managing this office space or you are an employee going to this office space, you will find some of these numbers very, very relevant. So we'll talk about that. We'll say what really the problem here is to manage our top and bottom line. Then we'll talk about what ThermelgyAI really has in terms of the solution. We call it ThermelgyAI, which can address these problems very, very effectively. We'll also get into bit on costing. Is it really the costly affair when you hear this buzzwords of IoT and AI? Are we talking about super expensive solutions? And that's one of the problem of COVID, where you can't really have money to invest upfront. And then at the end, we had floated out and kind of an offer. People who had registered for this webinar, we'll talk about that. What is that really the offer, and take your Q&A. So feel free to drop. I personally like actually taking questions in the middle of the presentation, but given the time we have, it will be great if you can just drop your questions on the chat, and I'll ensure we answer that towards the end, or after the seminar, I will just do one-on-one on that through email. So I'll just move on. Of course, thanks for taking your time out on weekend and that to the busy times. And thanks to the organizers of this webinar, really doing it on short notice. We decided to do this a couple of days back. So thanks to the folks who did this. So when we did this research, we looked at from two perspectives. One is the person who is providing service, providing solutions, providing the space to operate. Another one, we looked from the point of view of the person who is using these services, a person who is the other end of this, which is really your clients. You are our client, but your clients is what this survey is about. So we looked it into that, and what we saw, these were some numbers or the voices that, the voice was that we do worry now, especially after post-COVID, to stay in a hotel. We are willing to pay extra if there is a kind of a guarantee that the risk is minimized. And we would prefer to stay in a hotel. 39% of the people said that the brand we trust. So brand is suddenly becoming more important in this community of hotel, where you have now all sort of service provider from your rooms to home sharing. But these things are recently becoming more important with respect to COVID in mind. Another thing we looked at, what are the typical complaints which hotel operators receive, and I'm not surprised here. Number one complaint is with respect to the room air conditioning, which happens to be unfortunately very closely related to the indoor air quality, and in turn related to the spread of COVID. So, so that's sounds to be the number one. Then we looked at some of the numbers with respect to you as an owner. Of the building, if you're operating the building, you are representing the facility of the building. You are the owner of the building who is really worried about now. I'm not having rental income. There are lockdowns coming on their will, and how do I manage? So from their perspective, what we found through this survey is, this is of course before COVID really took over. The focus or the concerns were really for the building owners, that how do I manage my reputation? How do I retain talent? How do I bring innovative technologies to drive some of these matrices? In 2021, which we see in McKinsey survey, this thing has been added. The perception of safety has become a big concern about their customers, and then of course declining revenue. So per available room, per available square feet, per available bed, per available retail shop area, your revenues have gone down. So how do we address that? These were some of the top concerns for the owners of the buildings. So the turnout to be that, bottom line is, you can't really be here one way, in the sense you can't be offering your services, solutions. You need to really think from the point of view of customer satisfaction, because they were the king, but the more so in COVID-19, where your customer drives your metrics, and then at the same time have a control on your bottom line. So how do we achieve this? This seems to be the concern. So what really can be done? So one of the area we looked into is the branding. Does the branding helps? So we do see in hotel industry there are a lot of solutions out there, with respect to branding their safety focus. So some of the hotels have gone really way ahead in managing COVID situation. So you will see some of these initiatives. For example, All Safe from Accors Group, from Hayat Group, Hygiene and Wellbeing. So it kind of reinforce our thinking that in today's world, this is going to be increasingly important. Not just hotel industry again, but the example is hotel industry, but for any other services or industry you're operating in. We also looked into some surveys, and here it came out that brand, as I mentioned, is one of the criteria when you select where to stay and where to do business with. And India is not in the top, but it's certainly at the number 5th rank with respect to awareness about the brand. Now, can branding, sustainability can increase revenues? Again, there are evidences. These are very latest, some of the research done where there is a clear evidence. If you manage your brand and in a sustainable way, it can pay you back to increase revenues. So that's something we noticed. Another area we saw where brand works out, really, really critical is how do you manage your online presence? So one of the top item in terms of branding is online reviews. Now these reviews are applicable for travelers. It could be in case if you're offering some service. It could be you as an employee reviewing your employer. All these things are in today's time very, very important. So this turns out to be a top. And apart from that, other things which are very critical is how do you differentiate yourself from your competition? This is a ever their problem, but more so when cost, revenue, and personalization is even more important. So differentiation has become an important criteria to manage your long-term branding and perspective about your brand. So these are some areas we thought of focusing on. So these were research really we were doing as a team to focus on how do we leverage this power of IoT and AI to solve some of these problems. Now another problem area which we noticed was about real safety. One is about perception and branding and what value you are giving, but what about real safety? So we looked into some of the key things which determines your surrounding, and that is indoor air quality. One of the criteria which influences indoor air quality is particulate matters. And to our surprise, this is a paper in the middle, the number which you see, 15% increase in COVID-19 just by 1 microgram per meter cube increase in the density of particulate matter. Now, this research it's based on the real data from European countries, and just 1 microgram increase can yield a 15% increase in the spread. And now all of us are experiencing where COVID is rapidly increasing as we pass through the second wave. And one of the contributing factor is how well you are managing your particulate matters, how well you are managing your facilities. There are a lot of factors which goes in managing this, but knowing this that you are managing or not is really important. And as we know, as a country, we are not really good in this. We are at third rank when it comes to the air quality. So it becomes even more important that this particulate matter has a very close relationship with COVID. The other parameters where we found it's quite relevant is the ability of these particulate matters, they being so small and they remain suspended in the air. They again increase the spread rate because they don't just shut down on the floor of the wall. They remain hanging, and that cause further spread. And that is the reason, even if you are maintaining a social distancing of 1 or 2 meters, that's not just enough if you are into the area of high PM density. Then we looked at another aspect of indoor air quality with respect to temperature, humidity, volatile organic compounds, and these were a few things which were driving the perception of the employees and the occupants. Even though now there is a recommendation we should maintain high temperature and high humidity low humidity to avoid COVID spread or minimize, I would say you cannot really avoid. But the perception becomes more important. What really my comfort is not determined by just these numbers. It's about my body condition. So how do we quantify that what's your indoor air quality and comfort is was another area we thought will be quite relevant. Then we looked into the true hygiene, the hand wash, mask, what really these things which drives to the customer, and to our surprise here as well that in the hand wash, so 80% of the infection is spread through our touch, the where we touch our hands, and only 5% of us wash hands properly. Now that's the fact which has been proven multiple times. Now it's more so because it's so visible. Now it's not just true in us as a general public, but even in hospitals, nurses, healthcare workers, they are really suffering because of that. Suffering, when I say, it's really to the extent of they having 10 times more death rate compared to us as a general public if they spread the infection using hands. So hand wash hygiene is really important in these times. Otherwise as well, it's not just about COVID, any other virus would have a very high spread rate. So some of the numbers you can see, of course, the slides will make you available for your further digestion. Then, of course, regulations from FICCI and ASHRAE, some of you may already know about it. There are a lot of guidelines now to manage buildings, manage hotels. If you really want to abide by guideline and want to get certification, you need to really ensure that you have certain temperature, certain humidity, certain carbon dioxide, certain norms maintained for your premises. So what really the problem is, all this research we saw, and then we really try to bucketize this problem into two segments. It was really evident for us. This is not the problem of bottom line. This is not the problem of alone top line where you don't have revenue. It's not really the problem of managing your brand. It is actually a blend, is what we understood. And the first problem really we concluded is the managing the customer perception about safety and comfort. How well you can manage, that perception is key to not only feel comfortable for that individual, but also having the loyalty of that customer, coming back to your client, coming back to your premises. Another piece which was coming out is there is a lot of uncertainty around, because of COVID. Whether shall I invest into new technologies? Whether shall I, invest into adapting some of the new business models? What if they don't work? What will happen to my revenues? So it's truly an uncertain environment. So that's another problem. Now, this problem is not just restricted to hotels. This is quite generic. We are seeing across, buildings, across establishments, retail space, office space. Then we looked into some of the erstwhile problems which continue to haunt the bottom line pressure. Now, because of COVID, your top line is under challenge, but your bottom line is also equally pressurized because you're not able to cut down on your cost. These are tough times, and we can't really have the costing measure taken abruptly. That has to be planned. The problems of legacy systems. So on top of it, you need to manage your facilities. You have older systems. You have old manual logging systems. Inefficient monitoring. You can't remotely see whether your machines are healthy or not healthy, and how do you keep them operational when the operational resumes. You need to really have some sort of data-driven approach to monitor your assets. Now, that is not existing in many of the industries across India still. Then, of course, high cost of digitization remains. All these digital solutions are there in the market from quite a few years, but the cost of adapting them, one-time cost, and then maintaining is really, really high. So these were our understanding of this, the problem space. And based on this, what I'm going to talk about is a solution. The another thing, before I talk about solution, another thing which we saw, this is very recent. How do I signal that my space is safe? So some of you may be going through this. I'm doing everything. I'm doing, the hygiene checks. I'm doing temperature measurement. I'm cleaning my premises 3 times a day. I'm having a big checklist. But still, I don't have that comfort. My employees don't want to come to office space. My guests are still complaining. Are you sure that your space is really sanitized? So how do I signal that my space is safe? So this was an add-on top-up problem which we are seeing industries experiencing. So what we really thought, how do I address all these 3 things here? Really, there are 3 things here: revenue, top line, bottom line is your cost, and then doing these 2 while managing your future, your brand, so that you're secure for the future. So to do this, here is our promise. ThermelgyAI brings this solution which allows you to address all the 3. So it starts from monitoring your safety of premises. I'll be quickly talking about what are those solutions, how do you manage that safety. But if you do that, we take that measurement which you're doing and take it to the next level in promoting the satisfaction of your clients and building really the brand around this safety, the efforts which you are putting in these tough times. Not just doing it and not able to reap the benefit. We help you in doing that. Now, if you do that, we strongly believe you will be able to bring back footfall. So when the lockdown opens, customers still has to travel to make business or still have to visit office spaces as the time comes, and really drive those footfall back with confidence. Another thing we help is in reducing response time. One thing we notice is a lot of this perception around safety and comfort can be helped if you have a very quick way of managing your complaints. This we experience, each one of you would have experienced. If you have somebody who can hear your problem, your complaints, you feel that you are, really managing that well. Then maintaining really the comfort. So measuring the quality of your safety, the indoor air quality, indoor safety of your hygiene, one thing, but how do you improve that? We help you in doing that. We believe that will take care of your majority of the complaints which you will see in future coming, and if you do it on a constant basis. Uh, Coming to the bottom side, doing all this, we also manage your assets. In the sense, we take care of your premises, your equipments, your energy consumption, chillers, HVAC, boilers, and really help you reduce your energy cost. Not just do that, since we are doing that on a sustained basis using the power of data, we will be able to bring down your machine downtime as well, help you reduce your maintenance time, help you free up some of the manpower, use that manpower for more fruitful work than the manual logging work. So this is our solution which addresses your revenue, addresses your cost, and most importantly the future, which is really the branding and the driving the loyalty of your customers. So we have different software platform which help us doing that. We call it TMY. TMY stands for Trace, Monitor, Yield. It's a platform which basically stands for measuring things which is relevant, and then yielding the results out of it. So we have Smart Energy platform, which helps in your bottom line. We have Safe Premises platform, which helps in increasing your top line branding, and then doing it in a way through which you ensure your future is secured. So we bring here the power of data and AI. We bring the power of some of the connected world. So we don't want to be isolated in the world of emails or WhatsApp. We have a solution which connects your entire data to various individual personalized platform you may be using, starting from Alexa, WhatsApp to your emails and notifications. We connect all that. And this is not just we talking. This has been experienced by one of the hotel which you see here, Hablis, right in Chennai. They have adapted our solution. They are at the various stages of adapting our solution, and here is what the feedback from the chief engineer from Hablis, Mr. Ranjit, and here is what he has to say. And they're really able to reap the benefit in terms of the immediate from the day one in terms of the costing and productivity of our solution. Connected their energy meters, chillers, automated their key KPIs, monitoring. For example, it's not just energy, the water, the number of people in the room, what kind of expenses they are incurring, what is their target, how well they are doing. All that automated and delivered into their hand on their mobiles. So to do all this, we need to really have to have enabler, and our enabler is our IoT platform. We have 5 devices. Our platform, software platform, connects to any data, any device, but we do have our own proprietary devices which we use to help us do that. So the device number 1 here, which we call it smart meter, manages your both electrical and thermal energy. Then we have a device gateway which manages connection to your existing devices, be it chiller, smart energy meters, AHUs, pumps, boilers. Then we have a device which manages your indoor air quality, monitors, provides you real-time information. Then we have, in collaboration with the OZ Care, a clean air device which essentially manages your indoor air quality. So what if your qualities are not good? Once you start monitoring, what you do? So we disinfect the area using this device. And then at the last, we have a device which is called Safe Hand, which is hidden behind this logo. It's really meant to improve your hand hygiene. Now, some of these devices are really technologically advanced with respect to ability to compute at the edge. So it can do computation, monitoring, everything right on premise. You don't need to even connect to cloud. Some are ready to connect to cloud. So depending upon your comfort, we can customize the solution. So I'll just quickly get into the smart energy platform and walk you through what really this software platform contains. So it comes with a full-blown dashboards, web dashboards. If you have a huge number of machineries and you want to maintain yourself, you will be given web dashboards You can monitor your performance through these dashboards, both real time, daily, monthly, yearly. And this platform is not just restricted to web. We also have mobile. So all the same information will also be available on your mobile, and that's where we see the personalization, the future lies, where your people at the ground who is managing these machines need to know what's going on. They can't be going to the centralized BMS room and seeing things. So that's what you see. All this information is made available on mobile. Your team at the ground can monitor, can actually interact with the app, provide the feedback. It can capture any incidents which is happening on the field, act on the alerts. The alerts will be issued on your mobile app, and based on those alerts, team can visit a particular area and take action, take pictures, report out the incidents. So everything managed through one centralized application. So the days are gone where you want to manage from one central location. We believe the future really lies in giving power to the people who are at the ground. So that's what the smart energy platform enables. It really enables the timely actions, enhance energy savings and health of the machines. Then we also have personalized KPIs. So as part of this solution, you also get personalized reporting. So why we call it personalized? There is a lot which goes in visualizing your data. So nowadays, data is becoming commodity. You have a lot of data available to you, starting from your smart watch. But what are you doing with the data? Until unless you can customize the data into actionable insights, nothing much can be done. And that's where our personalized KPIs tracker come in. We personalize the report in the format which you like to receive, and that way enable an action. So these are daily reports which our customers are receiving, daily, weekly, monthly reports, and taking actions which are yielding them huge savings. Then our Safe Premises platform, this is really designed to cater to help you improve your safety, true safety, not just checklist, but improve your safety of premises and help you brand yourself, differentiate amongst your employees, amongst your customers. So again, the solution is made available on mobile app. Again, apps are available in both Android, iOS. You can monitor your indoor air quality, temperature, humidity, particulate matter. You can also trace the checklist. So the checklist you may be doing currently manually, you can do it on the fly, and ensure this checklist data is made available to your executive staff, and that way the actions are taken promptly. Now, if you do this on regular basis, all this you need not keep it within you. We help you take this data out and collaborate with your promoters. In case of hotels, it could be Make My Trip or Agoda, or in case of other premises, there are organizations who publishes this data out, saying how safe your place is. So we help you brand this data, not just keep it to you, but help you brand, make this information available to your customers, and really take your branding to the next level. Then we have product which helps you do hand hygiene. This is a really powerful computer vision based solution, which is a small device which will be sitting on your wash basin in your restaurant, for your chef, in a hospital, maybe in a ICUs, in a building, in an area where employees visit often, or in your home. So all these places you can deploy this, and it gives you in a very fun way how well you're washing your hand. As I mentioned earlier, only 8% of us do hand wash properly, and this device improves your compliance within week time to 90%. We have seen, I personally have seen at my home, and this can act as both just driving positivity amongst your employees, but also could be a compliance where this is really serious in industry like hospitals and restaurants, where one mistake can lead to serious consequences. This is also part of our Safe Premises platform. Then we have a clean air system which allows you to clean your premises. Basically, once you identify that your premises are, let's say, near to the highway or an area where you can't really much do with respect to particulate matter and the quality of air, that's where this clean air comes in. It helps you disinfect the area. And within 30 minutes, you can disinfect about 1,500 square feet area. And if you have smaller rooms, it could be done quickly. So really, getting towards to the end of my, presentation, the differentiation which Thermelgy is bringing is our proprietary hardware communication software platform. So all this is in-house. So we really deliver reliable, secure, and sustainable solution, be it with respect to bringing your costs down or with respect to improving safety of your premises. Uh, we are incubated or spin off from IIT Madras and Aspiration Energy, and that allows us to be really close to innovation and keep bringing solutions which are relevant and futuristic to the customers. And all which I talked about, you would have felt. If not, we would request you to connect with us. The personalization, the solution is quite personalized to each industry segment, and that way we really bring impact, because data without personalization is just mere storage space, and that's where we find ourselves very differentiating. And the cost part, we are really cost effective when it comes to the way we have architected our solution. And when I say this, this is the proof of that. All this what you just saw, we start on a subscription model. We are not into looking into a high capex opex model here. We have a subscription based pricing where as low as 2,999 you could be onboarded on our solution, and based on the impact you see, which we are very confident, you can scale our solution. Then all this comes with lifetime warranty on our IoT devices. So all the hardware which will be used in delivering this solution comes with lifetime warranty, so you don't have a headache of usual digitization experience where you digitize things and within some time your controller is down, your sensors are down, and everything is out of place. You even forget the art of managing your facility manually. So that's what the differentiation is. Now all this investment will give you peace of mind truly, which I just spoke about, because it's covering multiple aspects of you as in business, not just your bottom line or top line, but really keeping you ready for the future. And some of these costs which you may incur, the cost which I now spoke about, may not even has to come from your pocket. We encourage you to try different business models, and one of them is with respect to hotel is to really see if your customers are willing to pay you more. When you bring this technology and make them visible that your premises are really safe, and here is the number, I personally feel you can drive revenue upliftment. And apart from that, of course, we are also working on constantly to reduce your cost. So net, we don't think with ThermelgyAI, you are really going to invest anything significant from your pockets. So, and that help you enable, continuously your organizations. So with this, I'll just take a pause and let's look at the, poll number, and then we'll get into Q&A.